Hello everyone, this is Joyce Whitman with Stampin' Scrapper, and today I started my Fall Friday series. I did this last year and had a lot of fun, so I thought we'd do it again today. This year I should say. Today I made these cute little boxes. They look like pumpkins. It's kind of hard to hold all three of them here, but we have the tall one here, middle size one, and then our little one. Today we're going to be making the middle size one. And let's get started and I'll show you how to make this. First thing you're going to need is you're going to need a piece of Early Espresso cardstock. This is going to be 8.5 by 9.5. 4 pieces of Designer Series paper. I use the Painted Autumn. Oh, here's my other one. And these are 2 1/8 by 4 3/8. And then you're going to be, now this measurement is just for the middle one, the middle box. This is 4 inches by 2 3/4, and the crumb cake is 1/2 inch by 4 inches. And then you need 16 inches of the new jute twine that's in the new holiday catalog. Now I did a bunch of this ahead of time so you wouldn't have to watch me do it on camera, but to show you, the stem is cut from the popcorn box. I use this one right here. A lot of times I like to look at our framelits or our punches and use them different ways than what they're intended to be. So I decided to use this one. I cut that out of crumb cake. And then the other one, our leaves are cut out of the leafette framelit set. And I use this sleeve right here. So we'll go ahead and put those on the side. And we'll get started on making this. It is a great project. You can change the paper up so you could get lots of different looks, and I just whacked my camera. I really hope it's still centered. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start, let me move this down so you can see it. We're going to start on the 9.5 inch side. Oops, can you see that? Yes. Okay, so you're going to score at 2 1/4, 4 1/2, 6 3/4, and 9 inches. Then turn it on the 8.5 inch side, and you're going to score at 2 and at 6 1/2. Whoops, 6 1/2, sorry. There we go. Okay, whoops, we're done with this. What I used was our scoring tool. I love it for doing 3D projects. Makes it so much easier. So we want to go ahead and burnish this on all of our score lines. Now you will notice, you're probably thinking, my sections here are 2 1/4, but my other sections that are going to be our top and the bottom are only at 2 inches. And the reason why is I tried to keep it into an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and I'll show you what I did to cover that up so you can use it. So now we're going to do some cutting. And see this line right here where it's skinny? We want to get rid of this little section here and this little section here. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I'm in the camera and cut that. And then I always angle this a little bit. This makes it a little bit easier to fold when we're going to attach it. And cut this one off. Okay, now what I like to do is this is going to be our back. So it can be this corner, it can be that corner, the seam right here. You decide where you want it. So I'm going to put it right here. So I know this is going to be my front flap. So I don't want to trim that flap. So what I'm going to do is just trim that now, cut those here, and then I know not to touch that one. This one, we're just going to put a little bit of a sliver in. And again, this is just to make it easier to fold. You're going to do that on all the sections. I have to say, I think making 3D projects is one of my favorite things to do. I love making cards and scrapbooking, but I will have to say, I think the 3D projects is my favorite. I love to get creative and see what I can come up with. For this box set, I actually was on Pinterest the other day, And I saw these made out of wood blocks. And I thought, heck, we can do that out of paper. If you can make it out of wood, I bet we can make it out of paper. So that's how I came up with this project. To tell you the truth, I don't even remember what site I saw it on or anything. So whoever did the wood blocks, thank you for the inspiration on this. Okay, now remember, we don't want to cut this one because the same on the top. We want our bottom to look nice. So we're not going to cut that. And we're just going to cut this one right here and this one, and then we're done. Yay! Okay, take those little slivers off, and whoops. Okay, it's very humid here today, so everything is sticking to me. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, let me think here. I'm going to do this a little bit different. I want to take my 4 pieces of Designer Series paper. And what I did was, to soften the look a little bit, I took soft suede ink and used a sponge. And you can tell I have a little handle, I guess, to grip my sponges. All I do is use a 1 3/4 inch circle, cut it out, put what color it's on there, and then I have to hold on to so my fingers don't get all messy. And I just went around the edges. Now you can do this lighter, you can do it darker. You can even use crumb cake if you would like it a little bit lighter. You could use early espresso. I tried both. To me, the early espresso was a little too dark, and the crumb cake was just a little too light. So I went ahead and used the soft suede for that. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach these on here first before we get started. And for this, I'm just going to use my snail adhesive. And what I like to do is go ahead and tape all of them at the same time. It just makes attaching them a little faster. And I'm trying to make this video short as possible. I don't think you guys want to sit here and listen to me talk all night or day, depending on when you're watching this. Okay, remember my little trick of lining up the 3 sides? So I'm lined up here, 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 drop it, and it's going to be exactly where you want it. And you're just going to do that on all 4 of these. I like to lay it flat like this because then they're all in a straight line. To me, it is easier to line up, and I am for easy and little tricks. I love little tricks to do things. Whoops, that one is not. There we go. Oh, I said that phrase again. I told you I was going to try not to say that, and guess what I did? I said it again. Okay, we're going to go and attach and make our box. We're going to get our little piece here. And let me lay it this way so you can see. We want our little section here. And for 3D projects when I'm doing the sides, I like to use our tear-in tape because that's probably our strongest that we have. And that way I know it's going to be secure. Goodness gracious, I'm having trouble talking today. Okay. My nails make it a little hard for me to pick that up, so I always use tweezers. Makes it a little bit easier for me. So you're just going to fold this piece down and then fold this up, and it's going to line up perfectly. And voila, there is the beginning of your box. Yay! Okay, now to put, let me grab my box. See my stem and see how I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me move up a little bit. Can you see how I put it in there? There's a little hole. Well, I'm going to show you how I came up with that hole. Let's see here. Where's my seam? Okay, my seam's back there. So I wanted my seam here. Whoops, there we go. All right, my seam here. So this is going to be my top piece right here. So I took my little piercing tool and I just kind of poked a hole in the middle. And then I took my paper snips, hope you can see this, and I just cut a little hole in here. I just sliced it. I may be cutting it 1/8, maybe a 1/4 of an inch, probably a 1/4 because this is about a 1/2 inch. And then I just took my paper piercer and made it bigger. Now, here it is. What I did too on this one, on the piece of crumb cake, I went ahead and sponged it in the soft suede. So again, you don't have to sit here and watch me do that. And then I'm going to slide it. Okay, this is the front. Yep. Last time I was doing this, I was doing a practice video and I did it backwards. And I cut my paper wrong. Oh, it was just a hot mess. Okay, here we go. So what I want to do is I want to kind of guess about where I want it. So that looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it. And the reason for that fold is, okay, we're just going to kind of stick that like that for a minute. Here, let's just take it out for a minute. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and adhere this and close up our box. And I'm going to use Fast Fuse for this. Remember with our Fast Fuse, you roll it, check it. Roll it, check it. Roll it, check it. Put this one down and then this one. And then I'm going to do the same thing on here. Now, last time I checked this way. So this time I want to check, whoops, this way. You want to alternate it because otherwise you're constantly pushing this to one side. See, like I just did, and it's going to come off. So I found that that works best for me. So I take my bone folder and I'm tucking it in, or pushing it in, I mean, to secure that. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put some more Fast Fuse on this. And I'm going to put on this one quite a bit just because I want to make sure it adheres. And then I'm going to put in my stem again. Okay, so I know I want it right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to, see if you can see that, press it down. There we go. And it's on that tape, so now I can go ahead and trim it. Push it down. And I put it in backwards. Let's try this again. Oh, goodness, Joyce. See, even we can make mistakes. Oh, my goodness. Okay, let's put a little more on here. Okay, I want it to go this direction now. There we go. I did it again. I said, oh, there we go. Maybe you guys can give me some pointers on what to say instead of there you go. I do that a lot with my daycare kids. I'm always saying, there you go. Okay, that looks a lot better. My goodness. Okay, same thing on the bottom. I'm just going to go ahead and adhere these. I wasn't too worried about doing the bottom first because I knew it'd be resting on it and it would stick a lot better. I'll pop up there a minute. Oops. Try not to. I'm still learning, trying to keep things in the camera the best I can. Okay, here we go. That one wasn't supposed to go next. That's the one I didn't cut. This one goes next. There. Okay. Now, this one I did not cut, so it gives it a little bit finished. See how you see just a little bit? It's not perfectly to the end, but we will cover that up. Okay. So there's mine. That looks like a good height. Now, I'm going to take my two leaves that we cut out, and these are all cut out. I don't think I said this about the Painted Autumn DSP. So what I did was, here, look at, so you can see, you might see my leaves on this one. I'll lay it down so you guys can see it better a little bit. Okay, I'm going to take this one, and what I did was I just held that with my finger and I bent it up just a little bit. It's not a fold, it's just a kind of a curve. And then I knew on this side is where I was going to put my tape. And I just, again, used Fast Fuse for this. I'm going to have to sit that up for a minute so I can see what I did there. Okay, and then on this one, I just laid like this. And so I just put my finger here so I know I want the tape or adhesive, whatever adhesive you use down there. I don't want it hanging over the edge. Okay, and then what I did with this one is I just took my bone folder and I curled it just a little. There we go. Okay, now for my not Baker's Twine, I always want to call it, this is our new jute twine that's in the holiday catalog. See how I have two loops here? Long time ago, my upline had a man make these for us, and all it is a piece of block and 2 nails. Now I know you can buy these. I think they're called a Miracle Bowl Maker. I don't know, but I use this thing all the time. So what I'm going to do is wrap it twice. And I always tell, this is how I tell my customers. I go left over right, under the bridge, over the bridge, and tie a knot. And you will have a perfect bow each time. What I like to do then, too, is I like to grab it in the middle here, lift it up, and then I pull down on these, and they seem to hang down a little bit better. And there, see, we have a perfect bow. So we'll take our glue dots. For these, because this twine is a little bit thicker, I use 2 on here. If I was just using our linen thread, I'd just probably use 1. And then I'm going to put it on here. Whoops. Bring it in so you can see it. Okay. So see, you can barely see that it's the, that's the line where my paper went. So what I did was I just kind of brought my twine over so you couldn't really see it. I just placed it. It's not attached. I just placed it. I curled my ends a little bit. And there you go. Now you can't tell it's there. And you made a box. Yay! I hope you enjoyed this. I did the tall, whoops, this is the next one. Tall, medium, and here's my small box. And my small box. Oh, one thing I did want to tell you. You notice how this one is a little bit wider than this one, you'll see. That's because I did the measurements wrong on this one. This I did at 2.5 inches. This is done at 2.25 inch. This will get you your paper in a 9.5 or 8.5 by 11. This one I was playing with scraps, and that's why I was off on that one. So this should be the correct size, and I'll have all the sizes and measurements on my blog. Just look below this in the description, and you will get, it'll link you to my blog, and you can get all the measurements. Thank you for stopping by today, and don't forget to check out my blog at stampandscrapper.com. See you then. Bye-bye.